Today we're going to talk about how we add different types of fractions. First thing we're going to talk about is adding fractions with the same denominator using models. First fraction I want to show you is 2/3. You're going to add that to another. We're going to add that to the fraction 1/3. So as you can see, we have 2/3, and then over here we have 1/3. When we add these together, you're simply going to take your pieces and you're going to place them together. And as you're going to see, it's no longer 2/3. It's going to become 3/3 or 1/2. Second thing we're going to talk about is adding fractions with the same denominator that are improper. For example, 11/5 plus 6/5. Your denominator, if it's the same, is just going to do that, stay the same. All you need to look at is your two numerator values. So we have 11. We're going to add 11 and 6 together, and our answer is going to be 17/5. The next thing we're going to talk about is adding fractions with the same denominator that are mixed. So as you can see, I have 4 and 1/3 and 3 and 2/3. How I'm going to add these together is first I'm just going to look at my whole numbers. So that's 4 and 3. So I'm going to add 4 plus 3, and that's going to give me 7 wholes. So I'm going to put my 7 right there. Next thing I'm going to look at is my fractions on the side here. I have 1/3 and 2/3. So I'm going to add 1/3 plus 2/3, which is 3/3. So I'm going to go 7 and 3/3, which actually is just an extra whole. So your answer is really 8 wholes, or just 8. Now we're going to start talking about what if your denominators are different. So as you can see, I have 1/3 and 3/6. So in this example, we're going to be using models. So I need to somehow make my denominators the same. So I'm going to ask myself, what would you multiply by 3 to get to 6? And my answer is 2. When I multiply by 2, my numerators are going to become 2, and my denominator is going to become 6. And then I've just simply brought down the other equation. So I have now 2/6 plus 3/6. Because my denominators are the same, I can just add the top value. I'm going to get 5 out of 6. How you can use models to show this too is really, if you're multiplying it by 2, you can just imagine you're cutting it into smaller pieces. So really, this 1/3 piece now becomes 2/6. So I'm going to color my first 2, 1, 2. I'm going to add my 3. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I end up with 5 out of 6, 5/6. Next, I'm going to talk about adding fractions with different denominators, but improper fractions. So as you can see, I have 11/5, which is an improper fraction, plus 2/10. It's not an improper fraction, but you're still dealing with 1. So the first thing you need to do again is ask yourself, can I turn either of these denominators into a lowest common denominator? Well, I know that 5 times 2 equals 10. So I'm going to multiply my numerator and my denominator by 2. When I multiply my numerator and denominator by 2, I'm going to end up with 11 times 2 is 22, and 5 times 2 is 10. Again, I just bring down this equation, and when I add 22 and 2, I'm going to end up with 24/10. That is my final answer in improper form. Last thing I'm going to talk about is adding fractions with different denominators that are mixed fractions. So as you can see, I have 2 and 1/4 and 3 and 2/8. I need to make my denominators the same. So again, I'm going to ask myself, what would I multiply by 4 to get to 8? My answer is 2, so I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. Once I've multiplied by 2, you can see that 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8. I've just carried down my whole numbers. Then I'm going to just ignore the fractions for now and add my whole numbers together. 3 plus 2 is 5. So 5 is my whole value. Then I'm going to look at my fractions. Since the denominator is the same, that's going to remain the same as well, and I'm just going to add my numerators. 2 plus 2. I get 5 and 4/8, or in simplest form, 5 and 1/2. Thanks for watching.